Hi guys, this is Carrie Steller with In the Girls Corner. I'm going to give you a very light episode this week on UFC and all things MMA because I just feel like there's a lot going in this world right now where there's just many other things that I could concentrate on and get out there than just news in the entertainment industry, which is great, but I've had a lot of things happen recently where I kind of feel like, that would be great to talk about, but there's just much more important stuff out there, and we're going to talk about that today. So anyway, I want to give a quick formal congratulations to Tyron Woodley for beating ruthless Robbie Lawler, which I called was going to happen a long time ago, being that I believe that Carlos Condit got robbed when he fought Robbie Lawler, so I kind of feel like karma had a little role in there. And also Tyron Woodley is an absolute beast. He's fantastic. I'm a big, huge fan. So that was awesome. Really quick, this weekend, the UFC fight on Fox Sports 1, Caceres versus Rodriguez should be pretty cool. It's a pretty good card. I'm not going to go into that again because I have much too much to talk about. August 20th, the Diaz McGregor 2, can't wait for that. The 26th, Maia is fighting Carlos Condit, can't wait for that. And just announced Cris Cyborg is fighting at UFC Fight Night 95 in Brazil. She's fighting Lina Lansberg from Sweden. Pretty excited about that. Glad to see Cyborg back in the mix. Again, another catch weight because Lina is a bantamweight at 135. Come on, Dana White, open up a 145-pound division. Some of the girls in your bantamweight division are big enough to walk around comfortably at 160, which they could comfortably fight at featherweight. So I think you should make that happen. With that being said, that's all I'm going to bring up with MMA because I feel like, again, there's more important stuff out there. I'm going to start with taking a sip of water. Not my usual coffee, but that's okay. One of my brother's friends passed away this weekend. He overdosed. I'm not exactly sure on what. My brother and my sister's friend. I really don't know what happened and what was on and what he, I just don't know enough to say. But what I can say is there is a huge epidemic in this country right now. You can't even say it's in just one specific town or one specific state because it's everywhere. And addiction does not discriminate. It does not prejudice. I post about this a lot on my Facebook. I post a lot about it on my Instagram and Twitter. I have not done a video about it yet, and I just kind of feel like what better time than the present to bring up, a little bit about addiction and how to better yourself, and to tie into that. I'm sober 8.5 years, so it took me a long time, and that's the thing is that people don't realize is that it may not be one time that'll fix all. I went to rehab 4 times, so my fifth was the charmer, so to speak, or the charm, whatever you want to call it. There's many rock bottoms. When people say, oh, the person has to hit rock bottom, I maybe hit like 3 or 4, maybe even more. I can count on my hands how many times I was at my lowest and still went back out there and still partied and, whatever I thought was partying at that time. Now I realize that's far from it. Partying to me is hanging out with my friends and being able to reminisce about it the next day and not go, oh shit, what did I do? Or what did I say? Or what happened? That's a beautiful thing. So I always say if you see something, say something. Chances are the addict that you're talking to is not going to receive what you say well, and that's okay, just as long as you get out there that you're worried about them and think that they should get help. Also, reaching out to the family of the addict is always a beautiful and important thing because sometimes they don't know how truly bad it is, especially if it's a young person and they're good at hiding and manipulating. Also, sometimes the families have a little bit of issues that they don't even realize that they're causing a problem for, the addict or for themselves, for that matter. So I definitely think that if you have an addict in your family, or if you are one, there's no harm in going to a meeting or talking to a counselor or, you know, messaging me for sorts. I've had quite a few people message me on Facebook in the last, I can't even tell you, 6 months since I've been doing this, about them wanting to be sober or in recovery or whatever, and saying, you know, my Facebook's inspiring, which, you know, I really appreciate that, and that's awesome. And it is, I know it is, because I find things on other people's pages that I find inspiring, so I share it and I want to bring it to the world, because there's enough people perpetuating hate and violence and putting out, you know, all these videos, whether it be people beating up other people, someone getting bullied, the cops killing someone, someone killing the cops, whatever it may be. People are spreading so much violence and hate. You're perpetuating a problem. It's not making it better. It's not going to change anything. No matter how many cars you flip over or burn or torch, or how many people you beat up, that's not doing anything. Hate multiplies. Negativity breeds. So 1 + 1 = 2, and if you just continue to spread negativity, it's going to be an influx and an overflow of negativity, when really if you spread just a little bit of love and a little bit of kindness and maybe a little bit of happiness, that could be perpetuated just as well, if not better. And that's where I'm going to bring in the power of spoken word, universal thought, whatever you want to call it. It's huge. Your language, what you say, what you put out there, it is heard. It does come back. You can say something over and over, and even if you just say it once, a fleeting thought, anything like that, it's put out in the universe. The universe hears you. You know, you're gonna get what you want. It might not be in the way that you want it. It might not be how you wanted it or when you wanted it. But be careful what you wish for, and be careful in the language that you use, because it does come back, and the universe will absolutely answer you. Case in point, what I'm doing right now, I said I was going to be famous from, I can't even tell you how long. Thank God it didn't happen when I was younger, because I would have been a Lindsay Lohan or a Britney Spears, or, you know, I mean, Britney, congratulations, you turned your life around. However, I would have been that person. I would have been an absolute walking disaster had I gotten where I am now back, say, 10 years ago, even 15 years ago. Even 5 years ago, I don't know if I could have handled it in the manner that I am. So, you know, I always said I was going to be famous, and I was going to change the world, and I was going to make a difference, and, you know, things were going to happen. I just didn't know when, and I didn't know how, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And, you know, here you go. Here I am today, chilling out in 2 different colored socks. Not that I give a shit. Podcasting to you wonderful people from my kitchen, which is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. And yeah, I get to talk about, you know, making the world a better place, and, you know, sports and entertainment and everything like that. And I would have never gotten to be able to do any of this had I not gotten sober. Had I not said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to better myself. I'm going to make the world better. I'm going to change the world. One person can do it. You truly can. I mean, there's just so many instances of people putting it out there, putting it out there, putting it out there, and it does come back. Jim Carrey, he's a huge spiritualist, and I know he wrote a check to himself in the 1980s. I'm not exactly sure for the number. I know it was in the million mark, and he, you know, put it in his wallet, and that check became so wrinkled because he had it for so long. And when he finally, oh gosh, what was it, for Ace Ventura? I'm not sure. It might have been for Ace Ventura or something else. He got the amount of money that he was going to make for that movie, and it was around the time that the check was dated for, and it was for the exact amount. That's it, the exact number. I mean, you can't make that up. That's a beautiful thing. Let's take, you know, even though they lost and things have happened, John Jones signed in, what was it, in 2012 or 2011, he was constantly signing John Jones champion, because he said that if I signed it enough, it's going to happen. And bam, a couple months later, who was the youngest champion in UFC history at that time? If not, he still is. Conor McGregor, even though he lost to Nate Diaz, I think that was also just he got way too full of himself. But for a long time, he was saying stuff, and it was happening, and he was putting it out there, and he was visualizing it. And it's true, if you visualize something, you see it enough, and you really, 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 truly believe it. I mean, that's all it takes. I really truly believed that I was going to make something of myself one day, and regardless of where I am with my career right now, I've made something of myself. I've passed what I thought I could have done. I've surpassed probably what many people thought I could have done, and I'm still gonna go past it. I'm gonna keep on going, because you want to know what? I can, and I'm going to, and that's really all it amounts to. With that, I'm doing the Bible challenge, 10 days. Jenny Gatos, thank you for nominating me. I didn't really want to nominate anybody, because that's not, I don't know. I don't know who's into that and who wouldn't be and who would want to put themselves out there like that. But you know what? I'm no better than anybody else. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And it's very funny that the first one, I literally thought right away, being with what I'm talking about, I would want to put up something that's extremely important to me, which is John chapter 8, verse 12. I am the light of the world. Those that follow me shall never walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Now, I was going through an extremely rough period of my life at that time, and I tried to kill myself, and it was just not a good thing. And you don't really try to kill yourself, because, I mean, I'm still here. So if I really wanted to make the job done, it would have happened. More like a huge cry for help, and thank God it worked, because I wouldn't be the woman I am today. However, when I came home from the hospital, bruised and battered, stitches, looking a mess, feeling a disaster, you know, prescription for medication, a referral for a psychiatrist, therapist, the whole nine, diagnosed bipolar. I sat down and I opened the Bible, and he said, you know, really having a tough time here. And I just wanted things to be better, and I just opened the book blindly, and it opened to John 8:12, and I read both pages, and I got light of life tattooed on my wrist. So I figured with the Bible challenge, that would be a great first way to start it, because it's so important to me. It's one of the only Bible verse. No, it is the only Bible verse I actually have tattooed on me, which doesn't say that I won't do another one day if I find something that speaks to me. Again, also, I don't think tattoos are a bad thing. Obviously, I have a bajillion and 10. They go back to the dawn of time, so to have somebody say you're ruining your temple, which God gave you, and that's in the Bible, is one thing, but the Bible's man-written, so you can take that really into any context you want. And for me, it's a very spiritually driven practice. Through art, tattoo artists, and creativity is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift to God. So for me, it just all makes a lot of sense. And you know, it's just crazy with the bipolar. There's so many people that walk around without medication, and you know, they're so worried about the stigma and what people are going to think about them. And I was for a very long time. That held me back seriously. And you know, again, now look at me. After going to rehab and humbling myself enough to realize that I needed to do it a totally different way, because my way wasn't working, and that's when I went into a sober house for 4 months, which sucked terribly, but it really changed my life amazingly for the better. So yeah, I definitely think that having a God, whatever you feel is your God, is so important to have in life in so many different levels and so many different aspects. Because you really can't survive, I don't think, without believing it's something. And I don't really give a shit what anybody says, even the people that go, oh, I don't believe in anything. You do. You believe in something. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be breathing. Personal opinion, take it how you want it. Also, get out and vote this year. It's not too far away. November is only a couple months. This is the most important election, I'd say, in history. Nonetheless, in my generation, you know, I've voted quite a few presidents in, being I'm 37 years old, and I definitely feel that this is so imperative, Ricky, to get out there and vote and make your voice heard, even though I think that it's going to be a completely fixed election, and it's just terrible because the times we're in are really grave and terrible, and we need to make a change, and we need to make a stand, and we need to be protected as a people from our government that's, in my opinion, trying to fuck us over. I just feel like it's such an important, so detrimental to every young person, especially women, being we fought so hard for our rights to be able to vote, that we really, really, really need to go out there and do it. Also, on the voting, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, and I'm not even going to tell you who I'm voting for, because I thought I knew, and I truly don't, and I won't know really, I don't think, until the day that voting goes down. I don't think I'll actually know what I really want to do, which is okay, and this is a pretty fucking serious episode. I didn't do a lot of cursing. I've just seen enough in the last couple of weeks. I've seen enough. People are tortured. It's just like a whole thing that's going on out there, and I don't know what it is. It's not even at a global level. You know, you could say it's at a global level if you want to. I'm going to say it's at a humanity level. Humanity is fucked up. You know, you got people killing in the name of gods and in the name of themselves, and killing other people and animals, and it's just absolutely insane and ridiculous to think that any kind of violence should have violence as an answer. That is not the answer. Nor standing around the streets handing flowers out to cops and to politicians. That doesn't work either. What does work is using your voice and making a change. And the only way that you can do that is by talking to each other, talking on Facebook, listening to me, listening to other podcasts. Joe Rogan's fantastic. As a matter of fact, I would really love to thank my friends over at Chessology Church on Sunday. It was fucking fantastic. Had a great time with Sean, Struggle, and with Uncle Charlie, President, sorry. Anyway, you guys are really great. I had such a great time. Check them out on Facebook. Pretty sure they're on YouTube. I will have to get more information, and when I get that, I will definitely be posting that episode, because it was a really great one. We had such a good time. I was their first guest. Truly honored. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Again, that was a great time. ECF this weekend was fantastic. Thank you, Christian DeFuris. Lisa, glad to finally have seen you fight and win. Lisa Santisteban, that was great. The Beast. What else? I have Jack Hammer Promotions coming up August 20th and the 28th before the potential lockdown happens. And thankfully, I've had my hand in mixed martial arts in other states and different promotions, professional and amateur. So I will definitely be continuing to work with that, plus also having podcasts about UFC, Bellator, and whatever else I believe I'm going to be going to a boxing match at Barclays. I think it might be August 21st. I could be wrong on the date. Can't wait for that. Anybody have any events you would like me at? I would love to be a part of. And yeah, I think that will do it for this week's podcast. Questions, comments, email me, anything you want, anything you want me to talk about, please let me know. Like, share, subscribe. Find me on Facebook, Kerry Stellar, in the Girls Corner. Follow me, like my page, write me a message. I do answer, I will like back. You can find me on Instagram, Kerry Stellar, Instagram in the Girls Corner, Twitter, Kerry Stellar, Stellar79, and that's the same one. You can also find me at ITGC Blog on Twitter, that's in the Girls Corner, where MMA meets beauty and a little of everything else, and we will see you, I will see you next week. Definitely going to be having some co-hosts soon. So anyway, everybody have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be a really nice one. Get out there, have fun, live life, live yours, do it up.